Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, May 12th, 2022. Hold on, let me check on that. Yep, May 12th is the correct date. And it is a Thursday, so today we're going to do happy hour. I'm not doing anything new today, but I did want to talk about making sure everyone's getting their electrolytes in. So today I'm going to go with some noon energy for my recovery drink for today. There we go, focus. It's the Tropical Punch Energy. It's got a little bit of caffeine in it and, a little bit of electrolytes. I like to kind of put these in the drink in the afternoon instead of the afternoon coffee. This one's pretty much empty. So that way I can make sure I'm staying not only hydrated water-wise, but also on some electrolytes. So I'm going to plop that into my drink and let that start dissolving. Just because it got really hot here in Chicago right away. And normally after a run, I want to have like a protein shake, but I have not been wanting protein shakes. I have been like, I don't want chocolate shakes. I want sweet drinks. So I've also been drinking a lot of just this Gatorade Endurance. I'm usually just chugging a bunch of this right as soon as I get back home. And then I've also been like kind of using this just like I would use Noon, which is the Univet Elite Hydration. This is the lime buzz flavored one that is branded with Rachel Schneider. I also have the Bare Naked one that is the Sandy Nypaver one. Both of them have pretty similar stats where it's like 14 grams of carbs and 1,000 milligrams of salt, as well as some magnesium and some chloride. There's 1,300 milligrams of chloride in this. Now, I usually only take like a half dose of it, so I'm getting like 500 milligrams of salt. I did that before my run today, and I still came home like really just feeling extremely thirsty and like being insatiable in terms of sugar and salt. So if that's happening to me, it's probably happening to you guys too. So I just wanted to make today's happy hour about actually having a recovery beverage and making sure you guys are staying hydrated. All right, before I get too much further into it, let's say hi to everyone listening on the podcast on the audio only version. Hopefully you guys are having a good run today and staying hydrated. Hopefully the water fountains are all on where you are. If you have water fountains, don't forget to replenish those electrolytes when you get home. And for everyone watching this on YouTube later in the day, not live, welcome to you guys as well. Hopefully you've got a nice maybe after dinner drink. Maybe it has electrolytes in it. Maybe it doesn't. Either way, hopefully you're having a good night. All right. And it says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. Dad Runner Al says, yo, everyone. And Edgar Smith said, yo, made it live for once. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Omar Al Yafai says, hey. Stephen C. 1984 says, hey, everyone. Kit says, hi, Kofuzi and everyone. And Dennis Jake says, hola. All right, so we got a couple more. We got Sean Devlin says, hey, everyone, with a nice wave emoji. He did his first spin class in a while this morning. It wiped him out, but it's nice to be back in the gym. Very good. Very, very cool. All right, here's something from Frank. Sometimes I can't tell if Frank is serious or not or just poking the bear. Frank says, I can't find a single clinical study that shows any advantage of doing intervals over 2 minutes. I find several that show that they are completely unpredictable of performance. I'm going to stop doing them. I mean, I think it depends on the intensity of the interval. Like I think for 5K pace, I don't think like if you're doing 5K level of work, for me, that's more like VO2 max work. I don't know that it needs to be a lot more than 2 minutes. And when I do the Yasso 800 workout, it ends up being about 3 minutes. So, that's quite a bit of time. But for threshold work, I don't think 2 minutes is long enough. I don't have clinical data to support me on that necessarily. But my understanding is reading from both Jack Daniels and from Coach Vigil, some of the work that they were looking at is that when you do the threshold interval, the first like 90 seconds is your heart rate coming back up to that second ventilatory threshold. And so you're not really getting the workout until you get a little bit past like kind of 60 to 90 seconds. At least that's my understanding. That's why they need to be longer. The other reason why I like to do longer threshold reps is for two reasons. One, I think Coach Bob Larson really loved just long threshold repetitions and long threshold runs. So it seems like pretty good general piece of advice to follow is to incorporate that in my running. But also mentally, it helps me kind of simulate those tough times during a race. And so, like, how do you get your mind to settle in and settle down when kind of like all the alarm bells are ringing? Everything's telling you to like stop. This is too hard. You're never going to be able to keep up this pace. Like, I need to like it's I need for the volume to go down on that kind of stuff, and the only way to really do that for me is to be exposed to it. So that's another reason why I like the longer intervals. They're hard for sure, but they're not, the ones that I do aren't like the most intense. So, but if you want to stop doing them, I don't think you need medical data to stop doing them. You can just stop doing them if you don't like them. All right. Dennis Cheek has got vanilla coffee for the afternoon. Love it. That sounds pretty good. Here's what's this thing. I love the look of cold coffee drinks. I'm guessing for vanilla coffee, I guess it could be warm. But like right now, what's really popular, I guess, among younger people, because that's what I see on social media, is everyone loves the cold coffee drinks. And they do the thing where they shake it, like the sound is really nice. And it looks pretty, like when you put in like the oat milk on top of the cold brew and it kind of dribbles down. It looks very appetizing in the same way that I enjoy White Russians. Like that dribble down is just really nice. But like, I just don't like cold coffee drinks. I can't stand them. Like if it's a cold drink, I'll just like slurp it all down. Like a hot coffee drink makes you slow down a little bit. And that's kind of one of the things I love about coffee is it kind of makes you slow down in a way. But the cold coffee drinks, I just throw it back and it's like, oh, well, that was $5. I guess it doesn't, I don't know. I never got in. Maybe I'm old. I just prefer my coffee hot. All right, Kit says, it's so hot in Dallas too. It's been in the low 90s for a high all week. We might hit 90 this week in Chicago. Today might be the day. I don't know. They've been all over the place with the weather, but it's been hot. It's been hot here and humid. And I think that's why like some of my electrolytes are off because like, I didn't do a lot of working out indoors over the winter. And so most of my stuff has been outside. And I just don't sweat that much when I'm running outside, even for a very long run in like the winter to spring. And so I just feel like the body's not used to like making this much sweat right now. And so I just feel like it's kind of like a clogged carburetor where you just really got like, you got to open up the valves and just like get all the gunk out. And that's where I'm at. So I just feel like I'm struggling a little bit with the heat. And I just feel like, oh my goodness, I smell terrible this week. So I don't know if that's related or not, or if I'm just imagining it. All right. With that being said, I think my noon has been dissolved. So cheers to you guys. Happy Thursday. Yeah, this one's tasty. I like this one a lot. But like, I've just been so incredibly thirsty. And I think I definitely did not drink enough fluids yesterday because I thought it was a lot of times when I'm, getting into a marathon block, I'll get into like kind of grumpy spells. And it's usually because I'm just not eating enough and my body's like, I haven't figured out what my body's trying to tell me yet. And I just end up in a bad mood. And that was kind of yesterday. But I really think it's because I'm not drinking enough fluid. I think I sweat a lot yesterday and today. So I'm just like, I've just been drinking fluids all morning long. And I haven't gotten to the bathroom since I got back from my run. So yeah, it's just replenishing. All right. Yeah, Devin Al says like, yeah, I should try sauna. I've never gotten into the sauna. I guess it's too much sitting down, Like one of my buddies up in Detroit loves going to the baths and like I forget what it's called. I think it's called the Schwitz. I think that's what the place is called. It's a weird spot. There's no sign. It's like in the middle of nowhere, and it's in a basement of this building. Pretty weird, kind of scary. But once you get inside, it's actually very, very fancy. But like the sauna thing, like I don't know. I think that like I don't like the Turkish baths, and I haven't really done a lot of Korean sauna or like baths and stuff like that. So like, I don't know. I'm just not into it, I guess. Dad Al says, I don't like the cold coffee taste either. Eric says, yeah, cold coffee, no thanks, not for me. Hashtag over 50. Is that what it is? It's an age thing? I don't know. Luke Klein is drinking ice cold water with a dab of orange scratch. That sounds nice. That sounds really tasty. I think I need to get some scratch in here. Oh, looks like my mom's here. Hi, Mom. How are you? Let's see. Andrew Jimenez says, finally made a live chat. Good to see you, Andrew. He says, big up to Kofuzi Pat that. Love it. Fits my big head. Awesome. I'm glad that it's fitting everyone's big head because I have a big head too. So it's like, this one's for us guys. Awesome. Let's see. Matt Byer likes his cold coffee with a splash of flavored creamer. I feel like you kind of have to do it that way. What I like about cold brew is that I do think that it draws out some flavors from the beans that you might not otherwise get. Now, I think that you're also missing out on some flavors that don't like aromatize or like vaporize until you get to like 180 degrees or so Fahrenheit. So there's trade-offs there, but I do think that you can get different depths of flavor in a cold brew, but that's not how most people are drinking it. Most people are drinking it with sugar and creamer and all this other, like, well, it's not sugar, usually simple syrup and like creamers and stuff. And so it's like, I don't know. I don't, do coffee purists like cold brew? I'm not sure. I'm not like a coffee purist, but like, do people that are like super snobby about coffee, do they like cold brew? I'm not sure. James Aylward says, cold coffee, no thanks. What's next? Carbonated milk? That's funny. It's funny. Eric says, the Not Elite Cap got a lot of nods and compliments out at Garden of the Gods during a small group run. Awesome. Super cool. Thanks for sharing it out there. And it said, it was nice to see Billy Yang in the new Not Elite hat today. Yeah, it was cool. I'd love to get some the support from Billy there. So really appreciate that. Yeah, Adam says, schwitz is a Yiddish word meaning to sweat as a way of cooling. A schwitz is typically a sauna that may have moisture. Your local Jewish community center probably also has one. The place that I'm talking about in Detroit has both a dry one, well, I don't know what that's called, and then there was one that had steam. And then there was, I think it was Turkish. So then there was a dude in there that had like a big branch, and he would like scrape people's backs, like slap people on the back with it. It was really, really intense. So yeah. And then there was like in the space, like kind of outside of those chambers, there was a big pool that had like cool water in it. So you can go dunk in the cool water, then get back into the hot. I prefer the steam versus the dry heat. I like that a lot more. But that room was kind of like intense too, both from the heat and from like a weird kind of what is this weird situation that I'm in. I felt like I was in like an Anthony Bourdain episode gone awry. It was very, very strange. I mean, my buddy had rented out the place for his, it wasn't a bachelor party. It was for his wedding weekend. It was like 2 nights or the night before the wedding. And so everyone was there was with the wedding party, but it was still like pretty intense. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah. Let's see. Jason Dell says, hey everyone, daily 1 p.m. call got pushed by an hour so I can make the live stream. Awesome, Jason. Good to see you. And Dad Ronald says, Kofuzi, can we expect to ever see you do a podcast with Billy Yang? That would be great to see you guys together. I don't know. That would be interesting. And Eric, where did it go? Eric says +1 on the idea of Billy Yang and you doing something here. Yeah, possibly. I mean, I've run into him a couple of times. Once in Houston, and then another time. I mean, I don't think I talked to him at Western States last year, but I saw him out there. So yeah, I mean, I think that I would be up for it. I'm not sure. Edgar Smith says, any guests coming up on the live stream? I've been thinking about that. I need to get some, and I've been thinking a lot about like the interview format, and I'm not sure that I'll do a lot more. Like, I've been liking to interview pros, but I've also been liking to interview like other running YouTubers or people that are running social media. I think that type of person is better suited for the live stream, and then the pros probably more for like pre-recorded. So I'm thinking about how to kind of like retool and kind of reset up for that. I had a little bit of momentum, and then I let it get away from me for a little while there. So I need to kind of work that back in and see like, I'm still kind of tweaking what my format is for interviews, because I just don't want to just be like another place for an athlete to tell their story for the seventh time, you know. So yeah. Let's see. Shannon says Strava weather told me the humidity was 100% this morning. It wasn't raining. What does that even mean? It was definitely moist air. I mean, I feel like 100% humidity, it means it better be raining. Or I think it just means like if the wind blows a different direction, it's going to start raining, kind of thing. Or you might get a thunderstorm. But yeah, that's uncomfortable. I remember when I lived in St. Louis, I was working for a little while after college there, and I worked at the med school. And I think I told you guys this story, but the summers would just get so hot that even at like 7:30 in the morning, just the walk to get from my car in the parking lot there at the med school campus to the lab that I worked at, I got so hot that I would just spend the first 10 minutes of work standing inside like the walk-in chiller. Like there's like a big giant fridge where all the different like supplies that needed to be kept cold were. Kind of like a big like walk-in fridge like at a restaurant. And I would just stand in there for a while because it would just get so hot. Man. All right, let me keep scrolling down and catch up with you guys in the chat. Let's see. Shannon says, I want Unco to have Flores to a live stream. I think that's a good idea. We should have him on here. I think he could manage that. Let's see. There was another one on that subject. Oh, Louis says, I think you should invite Ryan Van Duzer again. Weren't you guys going to do a race together? Yeah. That's a good idea. I should talk to Ryan again. What a great guy. Yeah, we were going to do Ragbri together at some point. That was a long time ago that we talked about that. But I don't know what's going on with Ragbri. There was like a rival Ragbri event that was trying to get started up. It was weird in Iowa the last couple of years. Everywhere has been weird the last couple of years. So, but yeah, I gotta talk to Ryan again. And then Dad Run Around says Sage would be cool. That'd be good to get him on here. I think he would do it. Maybe I can get him to do it. Jonathan Crossley says, what about once a month doing a live stream with a random subscriber? I think that's a good idea. Maybe we could do that. Because I think a couple of you have said like have someone from the Kofuzi Run Club on the live stream every once in a while. I think maybe we could start doing that. I think that'd be fun for everybody. So we can certainly start doing that. Adam says you have to tell people what Ragbri stands for and is. Ragbri is I don't remember. It's like the race across Iowa. It's the Register something. It's one of the newspapers started it, but it's a bike, not race, but it's a bike rally that goes from one end of the state to the other. Like there's rivers on each side. So you dip your back tire in whatever water there is on the western side of the state of Iowa. And then when you finish and you dip your tires in the eastern, in the Mississippi on the east side of the state. And as you go, it's like a big rolling party. And everywhere you go, you should bring cash with you because all the towns pie is like a big thing. And so you go and you buy locally homemade pies. And some people will do it like for a couple of days, like maybe in the kind of the vicinity of where they live. They might do like a day or two. Some people do the whole thing. My one brother-in-law's done it once the whole way. My other brother-in-law, the one that has all the bikes, but he's a lot taller than me, unfortunately. That brother-in-law, he usually does like a day or two of it. He just did a 100-mile race somewhere up by the UP in Wisconsin. He's been getting back into it. He's had a couple of injuries that kept him off the bike for the past year or so, but yeah. So he's been racing again. So, but yeah, so like I'd love to be able to do it with my brothers-in-law, and both of them are educators, so they have a little bit of time in the summer. So I think maybe that's something we could swing. But yeah, I don't remember what all the letters stand for. Yeah, here we go. Right, Jason Dahl says something like registers annual great bike ride across Iowa. I think that's actually right. Dan says, yeah, registers annual great bike ride across Iowa. There it is. Awesome. Very cool. Let's see. Yeah, someone was saying something about how Emma Abrahamson has her combos over cold brew. I've been watching a lot of her videos lately. I kind of go in spurts, and that's one of the things where like every episode is about having cold brew coffee. But she's not the only one. I think it's very, it's something that a lot of people kind of in her age group are very passionate about, is the cold brew coffee. And it's just something that like goes right by me. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't had the right one. I'm sure. I mean, if it's coffee based, and there's caffeine in it, I'm sure I'm gonna like it. But I just haven't. I'm not sure I love it. Jason Dahl says, a non-elite rag bike team would be awesome. I wanted to do that when I was a student at Iowa State. Here's the only thing. Then it's like, then you got to take a week off of running, So I'm like, I suppose. I think it's like, when is it? It's soon, right? Is it not? It's probably like right now. No, it's after school is out, and the Iowan schools are still, at least in session, in May. I think a lot of them end like before Memorial Day, so we'll have to. I don't know that I'll be able to do it this year. Let me look at the calendar though. Nataku says, how's the daughter's progress on the 5K? Is she excited? Yeah, here's the thing. So we're trying to do Girls on the Run, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's like an after-school program that is specifically designed to, I think it's for not just schools that don't necessarily have like a cross-country team, but it's more like, it's less organized than like a sport team. And so the idea is to get girls into running, especially in communities where, there might not be a lot of support for girls' sports, especially at some of those younger ages. It's available at my daughter's school, but we were on the wait list and we didn't get in. So me and my daughter just started running. And then I kept saying like, oh, eventually, I'll find out it culminates in a 5K. And I've actually run through the race before. And I've been like, what are all these kids doing out here? And then I was like, oh, it's Girls on the Run. Cool. So I know like they do it along the lakefront, like once it gets warmer out, and I've kind of forgot to look up when that race was. And I just found out it's this weekend. So we signed her up for Saturday. So her longest, we're still running it like fartlek style. So we've gotten as far as 5 minutes on, 1 minute off. And we've gotten to about like 2 miles of running total. So she's got to go 3. This might take us an hour. Might be longer than that. And I think she can do it, but I think she's going to be really spent afterwards. Like I didn't map out the calendar well enough, I think. But ultimately, I think she'll be fine. She says she wants to run the entire thing, no walking. I'm going to try to talk her down from that a little bit, and hopefully she can just finish strong. But I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes this weekend. All right. A lot of you guys want to see my wife on the live stream. She's working. She works during the live stream, so she can't be on here. And she would never come on. She doesn't like to be on camera. Dan Johnson says, all right, Ragbri is July 23rd through 30th. Should be warm and humid. I don't know what I'm doing that week. That would be after World Championships, right? That would be after, because that's in June anyway, right? No, it's in July. I might be able to do that. Oh, I'll have to look at that. All right. Remy's back from another ride in paradise. Man, some of the images that I've been seeing, Remy, looks like you're having a great time out there. Some absolutely beautiful scenery. Hopefully you're staying nice and hydrated though. Get the electrolytes in. Because it looks like you're having a lot of fun. All right, what else we got in here, guys? Dad said Ribs would be awesome to have on. I don't know that Ribs would come on one of my podcasts, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like I was listening to, he was recently on, Mario Frioli's podcast, and just listening to him talk about like what his prospects are going to be going forward as a runner, and all the challenges that he still wants to kind of conquer. And I was like, I hope that Kraft has like a videographer that's going to follow him in all these. I know like he'll get photographed when he goes to all these places, but like, I really feel like this could be a much bigger project if they wanted it to. I don't know if they want to, but I was like, I would follow Ribs. I don't know. I hope someone's doing that. Let's see, what did I see down here? Oh yeah, Adam says the USF ATF Masters track is July 28th through the 31st. Yeah. Yeah, that's down in Lexington. Isn't it Lexington? It's in Kentucky. So, yeah. See, there's so much I want to do and only so much summer. That's the only thing. Jonathan Crossley is like, what about trying to interview people in other endurance sports that might have carryover to running, thinking triathlon, cycling, swimming? Yeah, I mean, I think I have a harder time interviewing people because I don't know those sports as well. So that makes it harder. I'd like to be able to try to interview some triathletes, but I'm not sure like what my ambitions are yet in terms of like me interviewing people. So it's like I feel much more comfortable right now interviewing people like in the creating space that are like non-elites, So I don't know. There's lots to think about though. Edgar Smith says Malcolm Gladwell would be a good guess. I would love to talk to Malcolm Gladwell. I'm also really hoping for a Gladwell Chavez rematch, but I don't think we're gonna get that. I just think that's very peculiar. It was so peculiar that it happened the first time, and like to think that it might become a regular thing is just perhaps asking too much of the universe. But that would be really fun. I would really enjoy that. But like, I don't even know how you would interview Gladwell. I mean, I guess you basically just get him on and you have him just let him talk, whatever he feels like talking about that day. But I don't know. That'd be pretty amazing. I don't even know where I would take it. I mean, I'd ask him about running and stuff, but he's seen some pretty amazing things, So even if just thinking about it from the running world, Dan says Chris Lundstrom from Minnesota Distance Elite would be a good person to interview. Super laid back and knowledgeable. I've been thinking about that too. He was, as I was thinking about it, he like popped up on someone's podcast. I'm trying to remember whose it was because I've listened to an interview of his fairly recently. Yeah. So like I think that what he's doing up there is really interesting. Namely because it's distance running in Minnesota. I mean, like it just like, I don't know, like how do you even manage that with all the snow they get up there, So, yeah. But yeah, he would be very interesting. I'd love to hear more of like what his like coaching strategy and stuff is, get like a really deep dive into that. But then I was like, oh, well, that podcast already kind of covered a lot of it too. But, I'm not sure how many people heard that one, even though it was like from a very famous podcast. So I was like, well, maybe it would be okay to try and take another pass at that, Jason Ram says, yo, what's going on? Off work early enough to catch a part of the live stream. Welcome, Jason. Glad to have you here. He's been watching since he started running in September 2021. Awesome. I hope your running is going well and glad to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, Arison Biolchi says, interview Ben Felton. That's a good one. I feel like that yeah, I should message Ben because I feel like I think that he's gaining quite a bit of steam over in the UK, but I don't know how popular he is in the US. I think he's a very interesting guy, but I also feel like he's very a bit introverted, which I can certainly relate to. So I think like getting a chance to kind of talk to him more and flesh out his story a little bit more and his background, I think would be pretty cool. That's a great idea, Harrison. Jonathan Crossley says, bring in Believe in the Run, Ben Johnson. I wanted to, we had scheduled something. I'm going to call him out here. We had scheduled something after, I think it was after he paced Megan. Oh no, was it after CIM? I think it might have been after CIM. I was going to have him on. And then like he had something with work come up and then we kind of just like, we dropped the ball on that one. So, yeah, but I've been wanting to talk to him because I feel like, he has such a huge Instagram presence and like everybody knows who he is. But like, I think he's got a pretty wild like story about him getting into running too. So I think it'd be pretty nice. C76 interview someone in the porta potty industry. That would be pretty amazing. Like, I wonder, like, is there, there's got to be one, right? So, like the run, I'm drawing a blank on the name. The Run Gum. He was an Olympian, great runner, and then starts a running-related business. There's got to be at some point somewhere, maybe in Europe, maybe Africa, who knows where, there's got to be like a pro runner that like parlayed their like fame through running into maybe a host of smaller businesses. Nick Simmons, yeah, you guys can remind me. I don't know why that. Just I'm having that kind of day. Not enough electrolytes, not enough salt to get the neurons firing. But like, there's got to be someone that like has done that. Does anyone know? If anyone knows, I want to know the story. I mean, it's probably a very boring story. They're probably like, well, I own like 6 businesses, all pretty small. And I felt like this would work out well. So I bought a franchise. That's probably the extent of it, but there's got to be someone. And I bet you it has a really fun name. It's got to have a fun name, right? Like Speedy Poop, something like that. I don't know. There's just got to be something there. Remy says, it's 8:30 a.m. there. Workout's done for the day. Is it too early for a recovery beverage? I would say no. Think about like when you're doing a race, you've got the post-race beers. You could be having post-race beers at like 9 a.m. So like, I'd say go for it. Go for it. Yeah, Bunny Cheese said Michael Johnson owns and operates a youth running center. It's pretty substantial. It's quite an operation that he's got going. I've seen some videos about like the coaching that he does. Like it's like it's like an athletic complex or a compound, it's like, it's pretty intense. So, yeah, I think that's pretty fantastic. Adam says, interview Golden Harper, founder of Ultra, while you're in Boulder next month. Yeah, I gotta figure out the exact schedule of days that I'm gonna be there. I'm going there with ASICs, and then I think I'm gonna try to extend the trip um, for at least, hopefully, at least a day or more, and so that way I can do a little bit more exploring, a little bit more running, and then also kind of like just branch out a little bit more because I mean, I've never been to Boulder before, so I just feel like there's a lot more out there. So hopefully, I'll be able to spend some more time there. Um, yeah, you guys have a lot of good options. I mean, these are all great options. Like, but I've gotten a lot of no responses from a lot of people. I gotta tell you, when it comes to asking if people will want to be interviewed and stuff. Now, like in their defense, like there's kind of three columns or tabs in Instagram direct messages, right? So there's like there's the primary, then there's the general, and then there's the request. You know, like I almost never make it over to the request side. And I think that the request side is people that you're not following or that are not following. I'm not sure exactly how it works. But anyway, I almost never make it over there. So like Instagram DMs are not like if I'm messaging with you on Instagram DMs, then it's a great way to get in contact. If you're in that primary column, and I feel like most of you guys here are in that primary column, like I'm responding and interacting with your DMs all the time. But if you're in the general column over here, like I'm not going to see it. I don't know how to change it. It reminds me of, not that I am Marshawn Lynch size by any stretch of the imagination, but do you guys remember he put out like I don't know if it was a reel or if it was a TikTok, and he was like, I got to apologize to all these people. And he just scrolled down his like the general or was the request section. He's like, all these people that are trying to do business with me, I am really, really sorry. And because he didn't know that there were those three tabs and he was only in I don't know what he was doing, but he had no idea. But I don't make it over there either. It's just like low on, I just don't see it. It's low on my priority list. Yeah. Steve says, I got to make a radio commercials for a company called Fluid Adventures later. That sounds pretty fun. What are some, what would be like the best names for a porta potty company? Like one that like, let's say you're a race director and you're like, all right, we got to make sure the porta potty situation is taken care of. Should we call? I mean, I feel like I'd want to be Super Poopers, right? So like that would be one. I just thought of that. I don't have a lot of names like stored up, but like Super Pooper, I feel like would be a good one. Speedy Poop. I mean, what else? Easy Poop. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Yeah. Terry says Splash and Dash. There we go. That's awesome. I like that. Yeah. Runner Will says like I'm pooped. Yeah. Yeah, Adam says there's a company in Denver called Super Bowl. There you go. See, I feel like there's not a lot of industries that can have that much fun with what they're doing. I would say like the only thing that's similar that I can think of off the top of my head is a similar industry. There seem to be a lot of very small, I'm guessing like, single person businesses of people that pick up, you can just hire them to pick up a bunch of dog poop. And I'm guessing that they work at maybe like a business, if there's like a big area that dogs has been amassing somehow, I don't know. But like those companies, the trucks that people have on that, and they're always super beat up, usually have really fun names. But James Edwards says poop dog. CK Stoner's back. He says, oh man, the last time I was on, you were talking about dog poop. And Z said for the commercial he's going to shoot or work on, he said he thought Fluid Adventures would be poop, but it's kayaking. I suppose that makes sense too. I like that. Yeah. Sean Devlin says a local septic company has number 1 and the number 2 business on their truck. Yeah, I've seen that one before. I really like that one. That's a good one. But I like Poop Dog a lot. That would work for the company that is picking up dog poop for people. I feel like that person's business is probably really big in the thaw between winter and spring for people who just let their dogs poop in the backyard all winter long, and then as the snow like finally melts, then they just see like a winter's worth of dog poop. I feel like that's a good one. Brandon says I'm gonna name mine Mr. Squirts, just called Mr. Squirts, for all your needs. I mean, I feel like what it'd probably be like 1-800 got poop, right? It fits. That could actually be a real phone number. And like the concept would be a lot like 1-800 got junk. I wonder if there would be a trademark problem with that. Likelihood of consumer confusion, because it wouldn't be affiliated with 1-800 got junk, but you would use it in a similar way. It's like, I don't need to buy a porta potty. I'm also not a construction company where I need to have like a regular contract. I just need someone to come like once to deliver a bunch of porta potties for a race that I'm race directing, kind of thing. Stevie76 says, I got the runs. It's like Dumb and Dumber. We got worms. Scott says, Johnny on the spot. I feel like I feel like that's what those things are. Like that's the brand of the porta potty though. Eric says, Hotbox would be fun to see. Yeah, that would not be, I guess appetizing is not the right word, but that would not be inviting, I feel like. And Mika says, I've been helping to organize a 7-day ultra in a neighboring town, 7 times 24 hours straight. That's incredible. A lot of logistics for the facilities. Yeah, who are you calling? Dad Run Around says a good business name would be Quick Squat. I like it. CK Stoner says, when my son was 13 and 14, he volunteered at the Miami Marathon. He was giving medals. He was horrified that one runner had pooped himself. Yeah. You know what's funny is, like, did he realize that actually probably happens a lot more than he probably imagines? Did he realize that? I don't know. Casey says trotty pitty, or he meant to say trotty potty. Trotty potty, I like that. That's a nice one. Yeah. James Amber said Thunderbox. Yeah, I don't know. Those are all great names. CK Stoner says his son was traumatized and he's scared for life. So he's not a marathoner then. Chris Dyke says Streaks and Strides. There you go. That's awesome. I like it. I mean, maybe the company could be like a company, it'll be like Portable Logistics would be the company, like DBA, Streaks and Strides, So for like when I'm like renting real warehouse space or like buying trucks, I'm buying it under the company name of Portable Logistics. But then like the DBA, when we get hired, when race directors call us, we're like, thank you for calling Streaks and Strides. Where can I drop off 100 porta potties for you? Adam says, have you tried the Ultra Vanish Carbon? I have not, but I've been starting to see more videos about it. So is that shoe out? If it is, I'd love to try it. I'm noticing that like I am running low now, because tomorrow's video is going to be the Endorphin Pro 2 after 100 miles video. So I'm running low now on non-ASICS carbon plated shoes. So I need more in the rotation. I still have the Carbon X3 that I'm working on. I think I'm about 60 miles in on that one. And I have the Takumi Sen, but it's not really a marathon shoe, but I can use it for all my marathon workouts. So those are like the two that I have right now. And then a bunch of ASICS carbon plated shoes. So if that's available now, I'd love to get it. I also really want to try that, the New Balance Super Comp trainer, the one that's the illegal one, the one that's too tall. I want all the too tall shoes. I can't wait. Jason says, I have a friend who is a nurse that volunteers in med tents at races. She says, more people have loose sphincters than you think. Oh, man. Awesome. Mika says, for this running thing, what is it? Is it an ultra, this running event? Says that hired everything and servicing from a local heavy metal festival. Oh, that's awesome. Luckily, the ultra happens before they have their festival. That's great. Oh, man. because I mean that's basically the size and scope of things that you need to account for. Super cool. Let's see. CK Stoner says, "Hey, he got to test the Hoka Carbon X3 this past weekend for a 5K. My last run on it was on a treadmill. I did an easy because I only brought one pair of running shoes for the weekend when we were in Iowa. Was that just last weekend? No, that was 2 weekends ago. And so I didn't want to bring. I wanted to bring a workout shoe and nothing else. So I just brought the Carbon X3 because I felt like I could run with that easy and for the workout. I ended up not doing the workout, so I just ran easy on the treadmill in the Hoka Carbon X3. Surprisingly good. I was like, this is working for me. I like it here. Chris Ike said he used the Takumi Sen 8 for the track workout today. Since buying the shoe, my poor AP2s have sat in the closet. Oh, you like it more than the Adios Pros? Interesting. You know, I saw yesterday someone that had a new color of the Takumi Sens that I hadn't seen before. It was like a white one with like blue and yellow accents. Have you guys seen that? It looked amazing. And then Matt Byer says, are you going to test the New Balance SC Pacer? Probably not. I just don't run that fast. And I think that shoe, kind of like is it Streakfly, the Nike one, are shoes that like I just don't really need. And so like I'll kind of like stay out of that space, I think. I don't know. I mean, like, I think I might end up getting to test a couple of different pairs of spikes this year. And I'm like, I guess some, for my steeplechase, I could use them. But I don't really do a lot of track workouts. So I'm like, I'll try them, but I'm not going to be giving the best review because I just don't spend a lot of time in those shoes. So I don't know about the SC Pacer. I'm looking forward to the SC, they're calling it the Elite 3. And I'm looking forward to the Trainer, the big, tall stack height one. But I don't know if I'll do the Pacer. Ryan Weissman says, when do we get the reviews of the ASIC Metaspeed Plus series? I've been intentionally spacing that out because there was a bunch of Metaspeed content. But I did a long workout in the Metaspeed Sky Plus yesterday. And then depending on how I feel, I'm going to try tomorrow to do a similar workout. I don't know if I can do the same workout twice in a 3-day span in version 1. So I'll do a version 1 versus the Plus first video. And then I'll probably do a Sky Plus versus Edge Plus video maybe a few weeks after that, just because I don't want to like overdo it. I'm super excited about these shoes, but like I want to kind of space it out a little bit better. But yeah, so that'll be coming up. Bunny G says, any thoughts on the ASICS Hyperspeed? I think that it's a really good budget option for a lot of people, but I don't know that I'll be able to get to it this year. I'm not sure. Someone sent me an image, not from ASICS, but like someone on my Instagram DMs sent me an image of the new Magic Speed. It looks pretty amazing. So I'm very excited about that now all of a sudden. Because I did like the first Magic Speed. It was firm. I thought it would be more like the Sky, but it's basically an Evo ride with a half carbon plate in it. So you got to get up to speed for it to work well, and I do enjoy it. But I don't know, so I'm looking forward to the version 2, or I don't know if they're going to call it Magic Speed Plus. And it looks a lot more like the Sky Plus. So that's pretty exciting. I'm very interested to see what they have in store for that one. But I don't know about the Hyperspeed. I didn't try the first one, and I never tried any like the original ones going further back. So I don't know if I'll get to that one. Adam says, I've never had to go once a race starts outside of a 100-miler. Everything seems to shut down once I start running. I've during a race, I haven't had to poop during a race since my first marathon. And that was in Baltimore in 2010. Since then, I don't think I've had to. Oh, wait, no. I pooped. Did I poop or did I just pee? I definitely used the bathroom a couple times during the 50K that I ran last summer. But other than that, I don't think I've had to go to the bathroom during a race, which I've been, touch wood. I've been very lucky on that one. Now that I've said that, I'm sure I'm going to have to poop during my next race. Otto Vogrinchik says, "Hi, Michael. Are you letting your hair grow long again? Any tips on getting past the medium length stage?" A lot of hats. The medium length stage is super annoying. It's too short to put up, and it's too long to do anything with, kind of. So I just wear a lot of hats, and I'm lucky in that sense. I'm almost to the point where I can get it up into a ponytail again, and I can't wait because it's just really annoying right now. So I'm very much looking forward to getting it a little bit longer. But, I don't know. I go back and forth between really enjoying having long hair to really feeling like I always forget which one of Cheech and Chong has the long hair, but I feel like I'm like an old stoner. In a stereotypical way about that, like just looking like, man, what are you holding on to? Just let it go kind of thing. So I go back and forth, so we'll see. Let's see what else we got here. Adam C says, "For that recent workout, you were well over your threshold heart rate, probably due to the heat. Were you going by pace, power, or perceived effort? I can't decide how to handle heat-induced heart rate increases." Yeah, I was over my threshold heart rate. The last rep, it was 4 times 9 minutes at threshold, which is longer. So the heart rate is going to creep up a little bit more, I think. And then the last one, I averaged at 178, which once I get over like 175, I'm like, I'm not sure how accurate this thing is even going to be. But either way, it just tells me that I was working too hard. And I felt it. I was like, this is working too hard. But I was like, it felt really hard, but I was like, my legs don't feel like they're working that hard. So like, let's move the legs at what feels like threshold effort and like just maintain that consistent level of output, even though it took more to get that output. So that's kind of how I looked at the workout. Yeah. So like, that's how I was kind of like trying to govern it. I don't really look at the power number. I look at the power number more after the workout than during. And I kind of use it as a guide for kind of figuring out like, all right, am I progressing or not? Was I working what I felt was threshold effort? Did that actually kind of match to some other metrics that I have, whether it's heart rate or whether it's the power or whether it's the pace? The heart rate was definitely a little bit high. And when it's like hot, I kind of just am like, all right, my heart rate's just going to be high a little bit. I don't know from like a blood lactate perspective if that means that I'm no longer getting a threshold. You know what I mean? Am I ruining it then? Am I not getting the right intended benefit? I'm not sure. I'd love to be able to like, the thing that people do where like they have someone that knows what they're doing, prick their earlobe, and then they take the blood and they actually figure that kind of stuff out. Like I'd love to be able to do a test like that. But absent that, ideally I'd be working at like that second ventilatory threshold number so that I'm working on clearing out as much lactate as I can as fast as possible and working no harder and no less hard. But the other way I look at the workouts are, if it's a threshold workout, I want to run at a level of effort that would be sustainable for that 40 to 60 minute time period. And whatever pace or heart rate that turns out coming out to be, like that's what it'll turn out to be. So I'm like, a lot of times I try not to look at the watch. Usually I look at how much time's remaining in the rep. I try not to look at the watch, and I just think to myself, the pace will be what it is. This is the effort. And so I focus on maintaining the effort. And that's how I kind of run those workouts. Whether that's good or not, I don't know. But there's a big mental component to that for me that I'm getting a benefit out of, I think. All right. I think that, well, let's see one more. Here you go. Ryan Weissman says, back in my training from Boston, or back from my training in Boston. He says, we'll be running grandmas. I'm going to cut 83 seconds off my Boston time to get that sub 3. Maybe see you on the course there and push each other to under 3 hours. Awesome, Ryan. Well, hopefully I will see you there. I'm sure we'll be lining up right around that same spot. Flores sent me a text the other day about something that had been posted to, I think, his Facebook group or something like that, about people that are like trying to run sub 3 or run like a certain specific time. And that person had advised, like, you know, you should be planning to run 3 minutes under your goal pace. That way, like, even if things go wrong in the second half, you know, you've got a little bit of a buffer to work with. Or if things go perfectly, you're running, you know, to what you're really capable of. And I'm like, that sounds like good advice, but it also kind of sounds like banking time. So I'm not sure about that, but it's something to think about. I'm in debating whether or not to kind of shoot for a 258, which seems like, you know, maybe I'm being greedy, but on the other hand, I'm like, I don't think that's impossible for me. And a 258 means more for me than a sub 3 does, because 258 for my age group is a good for age time for a New York City Marathon. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't want to get like too caught up in like getting excited by the downhill start and then, you know, crash and burn at the end, because that's what I always do. So we'll see. But either way, Ryan, hopefully I will see you there. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Glute box. I got it. I like it. I like glute box. That's a nice one. I like that one. That's a good place to end it for today. Tomorrow's video is going to be about the Endorphin Pro 2. Hopefully I won't forget to put in, I don't know what happened to the intro footage B-roll for the Reebok Float Red Energy 4 video, but it just wasn't there when I went to go upload it. I mean, in the video that I rendered, I looked at the file that got rendered out. It's just not there. I don't know what happened, but hopefully won't be any issues with tomorrow's video, Endorphin Pro 2. And then I'll see you guys again, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time, for a live stream Friday. Hopefully I see you then. And in the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.